Welcome to the John and Rick Talk All About Insurance podcast, the show where two good old boys with over 80 years of combined experience pull back the curtain on what really works in the insurance world. Join John Smith, industry legend, marathon runner, and top producing agent for nearly 4 decades, and Rick Witcher, proud farmer, regional director, and lifelong relationship builder, as they share stories from the field, interview real agents, and show you how to build a business and a life you love. This ain't corporate. This is real talk from real agents, with a whole lot of laughs, straight up wisdom, and the occasional rabbit trail. Now, here they are, John and Rick.
All right, welcome back to John and Rick Talk Insurance and Other Items. I'm John.
I'm Rick.
And today I'm really excited. We have one of our friends and longtime friends here on our podcast with us, Ray Renfro CLU. Ray is the head honcho, I'm going to call him that, at Life Insurance Company of Alabama. How long have you known him, Rick?
32 years. 32? Who counts?
Yeah, I don't see like 5
and
years.
you still let me hang around.
I've known John longer than that.
You have?
Yeah.
He's been here longer than I have.
Been a long time. So, Ray, start us back from where you grew up and everything like that in North Carolina. I know that's where you're from originally.
Yeah, I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I can tell you the story of how I got to Gadsden, Alabama.
Yeah, tell us that.
Well, my father loved quail hunting. And one day he decided he was going to buy, he had seen he got these quail hunting magazines. And he saw where all these really richy people went hunting on Tennessee walking horses instead of walking. So he decided he was going to buy a walking horse to hunt quail on.
Uh-huh.
And lo and behold, he got the walking horse to hunt quail on, and he never hunted quail again. He started fooling with horses and became a horse nut. And at the time, I was about 9 years old, and he bought a horse for me, and we started slow, and then he bought a farm so we could have a place for the horses. And I spent my childhood going to the farm and riding horses. And later, when I got a little older, we showed horses all over the South. And
pretty good at it, I understand, too.
well, yeah. And one of the horses we raised became the world champion Tennessee walking horse mare in 1967, a long time ago. But the guy that trained our horses in North Carolina moved to Tennessee, to Shelbyville, where they have the Tennessee Walking Horse Championship show every year. And so we started going out there in the summertime and showing in Tennessee. And lo and behold, the lady that I met from Gadsden, Alabama, she and her sister were showing Tennessee walking horses in Shelbyville. And the rest is history. So I ended up marrying her, and we moved to Gadsden, Alabama.
And actually was on road one of the championships.
So my wife, Ann, Doggett was her maiden name. She was the world champion ladies Tennessee walking horse rider 4 years in a row.
Wow.
That's what I thought.
And her horse, now that she won 8 championships with her horse. And her horse is now in the Tennessee Walking Horse Hall of Fame. And she's only one of 3 mares. All the other horses, there's only about something like 82 horses in the Hall of Fame in the history of the breed. And she's one of the 3 mares that's in the Hall of Fame.
So the family, your all's family, extended everything. How many years have you been at the Shelbyville Tennessee Walking Horse Championship?
The first year I went, I was 13 years old, 1960.
Yeah, you've been there a while.
Yeah.
I know Stephanie, my wife, have come and joined y'all there. Y'all have got standing reservations to be there every year.
Oh, yeah. We have a box seats that we sit in every year. It lasts like 2 weeks, and we got to where we only go like 3 or 4 days.
It's a big event. If you've not been to Shelbyville to that, it's definitely worth going to see.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's amazing. Now, how did you get working with Life Insurance Company of Alabama?
Well,
and tell us your whole position, title, how you've went through the years and everything.
When Ann and I started dating, I was still in college. I graduated from Wake Forest University in North Carolina.
Go Deacons.
And I went to law school at the University of North Carolina. Go Tar Heels. And so, anyway, after a year of being in law school, I decided the last thing I wanted to do in the world was be a lawyer. So by that time, Ann and I we got engaged. And so I decided I would go to work for her father. And her father, Colonel Doggett, is the man that founded Life Insurance Company of Alabama in 1952. So that was in February of 1971, I moved to Gadsden. Ann was still in school at Auburn. She didn't graduate from Auburn until summer of 71.
Yeah.
So I came here and went to work and became an agent. And I immediately decided that I knew I was going to be with Life of Alabama for a long time. So I wanted to learn everything I could about the life insurance business. So I immediately started taking LUTC courses, Life Underwriter Training course. I finished that in 2 years, and I started taking the CLU, Chartered Life Underwriter courses. There are 12 tests of that, and it usually takes like 5 or 6 years for people to take all the tests. I passed all the tests in 2 years, and then I found out I was so dumb that you have to be in the business 3 years before they'll give you your CLU.
Oh, really?
So I had to wait around a year to get my CLU.
Right.
So then I was selling all the time, and let's see, 1971. So in 1974, the third year I was in the business, I qualified for the $1 Million Roundtable, which all of these things I'm naming, like the LUTC, CLU, Life Underwriters Association, they were all big back then. Now they're kind of passe now. People don't even know what they are. But anybody in the insurance business back then had to be in all that. So I qualified for the $1 Million Roundtable after 3 years, and I became a life member by qualifying 10 years in a row, but I qualified 12 years before I came into the home office. And during that time, I was president of the local Life Underwriters Association, which had about 100 members. I don't think they even have one now.
Yeah. But they've changed the names of them.
That's now the NAFA, National Insurance and Financial Advisors Association, whatever. But I don't think it's still kind of as active as it was like 40 or 50 years ago. I was president of the local Life Underwriters Association. I was named the Life Underwriter of the Year in like 1975 by the Life Underwriters. So then I taught CLU courses at the junior college here.
Yeah.
So I did a lot other than just selling insurance. I did.
How did you have time for yourself? You were doing a lot of things at one time.
Well, just working a lot, and of course, the first 6 or 8 months, I was didn't have anything else to do. But then after Ann and I got married, we didn't have any children for 3 years, so I had a lot of time on my hands that I could do all that stuff. I also went to some of the other things I did. I went to the School of Insurance Marketing at LSU.
Really?
They had a 6-week course that you could take, and you go a week at a time. I went down there and got their LSU School of Insurance Marketing, and I went to the there was a thing up in Pennsylvania for the NALC, I think was it called NALU, National Underwriters Life Association had a school that you could go to up there. I went there. I went to some schooling at Purdue.
Wow.
Just a lot. I just learned everything I could learn. Learned everything I could learn of
So,
business.
Here's what I hear that I like from what you're saying, Ray, because Rick and I have been in the business a long time, and you get all these insurance companies that will come and want you to sell their products, and usually the people that come to try to market to you have never been in the field, never done the sales. You were not only out there selling like we do and like the agents that are listening to us do, but you got so good at it they moved you into the home office. So you know from yourself what it takes to be a successful insurance agent.
Oh, another thing that I can toot my horn about a little bit was during the 17 years that I was an agent for Life Alabama, I was the leading agent 3 times and the second leading agent twice.
That's
So,
pretty impressive. And what did you sell mostly back
no,
most?
back when we started, we sold life insurance door to door, sitting at the kitchen table at night a lot.
With mom and dad?
There with mom and dad, that kind of thing. It's just
Right.
one-on-one. And then in the late 70s, like 78 or 9 or 80, a guy came to Colonel Doggett and said, I think y'all can sell a lot of this cancer plan. And we went into the cancer selling. We sold that. It was the first A&H product we sold other than
Okay. I didn't know.
life. And so it kind of segued into a lot of that cancer product was sold in payroll groups.
Right.
So we kind of segued from the individual across the table at night to calling on groups and trying to set up payroll groups. And now probably 80% of our business is through payroll reduction.
Well, I've asked you one time last year, year before last, as long as I've been here, I'd never asked you. And it was kind of about how the company got started. And of course, Colonel Doggett had passed when I came. He was passed away when I came here in 93. But when we're in the market of trying to do SGLI conversions and VGLI, I think it's important that people know that he had spent time in the military, and that's why there's a close relationship.
Well, he was in World War II. He was a colonel in World War II. So that's kind of an interesting story. He was one of the only officers in Italy that was over an entirely black company.
Okay.
So he had there could be a story about that. It's
Right.
Because he was in action in Italy with a black company. But anyway, he before World War II, he was an agent for Protective Life for years.
Right.
And when he came back from World War II, he went back to work for Protective. And he went in their home office, then he decided he didn't want to do that anymore. So there was some people back then, it was a lot easier to start an insurance company than it is now. And there was 2 insurance companies, small little insurance companies in Gadsden. And he went to work for one of them as their agency director. And that was about like 1947 or 48. And after he'd done that 3 or 4 years, he said, hey, I'm just going to start my own company.
Wow.
So in 1952, he got together, of course, again, money's a lot different now than it was then. I think he got together, his mother, himself, and 4 or 5 investors got together $200,000 and started the Life Insurance Company of Alabama in 1952.
Right. Well, I think that's
a great story, I think.
It is a good story. And it hadn't been a year or so ago I asked you about it because I'd worked here all these years and I knew he had been in the military and you told me.
Right.
And I think that's important because, and we still have a close tie to,
we sold a lot of that SGLI insurance back then.
well, and Dudden Clarence, your brother-in-law, his son.
Yeah. He was in the, forever after World War II, Colonel Doggett was in the National Guard and the reserves and went to these nightly meetings and all that kind of stuff. And then when Clarence was in college, he went through the same thing and became and he's a captain, but he didn't stay in it all his whole life like Colonel Doggett did.
Okay. But doesn't Clarence go up and give away an award at West Point every year?
He does because his great-grandfather was a 3-star general in the Confederate Army.
Okay.
And they gave the award in his name. Now they've had to take his name off of it because it's not politically correct anymore.
Right.
But they're still giving the award.
Right.
Well, and very impressed with all your story on that, but I want to come to something that's laid right here in front of us. Not only all the sales accolades you got, but you wrote your own book, right?
Yeah.
It's called All I Know About Marketing and Insurance by Ray Renfro CLU. I don't think I've had a chance to read it. Do you mind?
No, go ahead.
Have you seen this?
No, I didn't know about it.
All I Know About Marketing and Insurance. May your heart always be filled with joy of the season.
I was from a lady that gave it to me.
Okay.
Oh. Well,
There's nothing in
I
it.
think we know about that amount too, don't we, John?
That's pretty funny. Well, that's a great conversational piece, but that's probably all we know about it right there. But that's one of his eye catcher and good conversational starter.
Really that on my
He has it as always.
because they were all impressed and they opened it up and they
Nothing that.
That is very impressive. Now tell us about your golf game. I hear you got a real pretty good golf game.
Well, that's another story that I can go back to my childhood. That was another thing my father did besides quail hunt. He was an avid golfer, and I would go out there and watch him hit balls every day. And as soon as he got those horses, he stopped playing golf. So I never got to play golf when I was growing up.
Really?
I was too busy riding horses.
Yes.
So when I moved to Gadsden, that February of 1971, besides working, I didn't have anything else to do because Ann was in college down in Auburn. So I met a guy that lived here that became my roommate for a few months there. And he was an avid golfer, and he taught me how to play golf. And I joined the country club here and started playing golf. And I've been playing ever since then. I play probably about 100 times a year. At one time, my handicap got down to about 5, but now old age is taking over. I think it's 12 now. But
Yeah, but you played at some really nice golf courses all over the world.
I've played golf all over the world. Currently, I have played 499 golf courses. So I'm trying to
What's going to be your 500 one?
something out there in Torrey Pines, I guess. So anyway, yeah, I've played all of the courses that the British Open is played on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I played. It's also a moving target because every year they come out with a new list of the 100 top courses all over the world. But currently, I play about 25 of the top 100 courses. But next year it may be 24 or 26 or.
Yeah.
Well, you made it. You just have to keep living, keep playing.
Yeah,
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, we both, John and I both have worked with you for, John's been here, 37 years?
No, 41 years with the company.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, started at 81.
The first time I can remember being with John, we had the very first Mariners Club in Switzerland. And John was there. And that was like 1990.
Okay.
It's a long time ago.
Well, I came here in 93. Oh. And I think the first trip I went on with y'all was 95. And that's when I met John. Permanently met John.
So, Ray,
But it's been a lot of fun.
let's go back to your sales when you came to Life, Alabama. Do you remember your first sale?
I think my first sale was to myself.
There you go. That's usually a good agent's going to sell themselves first.
I had you can't sell what you don't believe in.
Absolutely.
So I bought $100,000 whole life policy, which back then was probably like $1 million policy now.
Right.
And the premium, because I had a heart murmur, my premium was rated, so the premium was about 30% of what I was making. But anyway, you have to be sold on what you're selling. So that was my first sale.
That's nothing wrong with that. And then you've delivered a lot of death claims too, I know.
Oh, yes. In fact, the biggest one I delivered was $1 million. But
It kind of changes you when you do that. I remember the first time I delivered one.
yeah,
And it was a family that I knew well,
yeah.
grown up with them.
Yeah, I had one fella that I played golf with, and he had a $250,000 term policy. And I said, well, you need to get more than that. So I sold him another $250,000 term policy. Of course, this was in like 1985 or something. So $500,000 was a lot of money back then. It was like $5 million now. And he went to the doctor and passed the physical. And 2 weeks later, he dropped dead.
Wow.
And I didn't even have the policy back from the office. They had already approved it. But once he died, they went through all the stuff to make sure everything was, and they sent me the policy, and I delivered $500,000 to his widow.
Well,
and that's what makes you feel good in this business when you're able to deliver that check. I think that as years and years roll on, a lot of these kind of things are just done directly with the home office. We don't get into the day-to-day claims like we used to back in the day, but we're still able to help people, and that's what we got in the business for. Naturally, the money parts as well good too, but you got in the business to help people, and that money takes care of itself, in my opinion. So Ray, Rick and I are doing this podcast to kind of get new agents excited about the business and help them. If you had a new agent, let's say that your grandson, by the way, I know he's probably going to get in the business before too long, but when he comes into business, what are you going to tell him about the business and what he needs to do to be successful?
Well, I think I would tell him that we're in the business of helping people, and that's the thing that the thing that I think is so great about the insurance business is we can create wealth for people out of nothing.
Yes.
All we got to do is sell them on the idea that, hey, you know, you're the breadwinner. If something happens to you, your little 3-year-old child's not going to have any money unless you provide it for him, and you can provide it for him after you're gone by just signing this application.
That's right.
And that's what's so great about our industry that nobody else can do.
Yep. And to keep those that have already built wealth, it helps them keep it.
Right.
All of it doesn't go out in the state taxes.
That's correct.
Well, Ray, we can't thank you again for giving us some time to sit in our podcast. Besides being a good friend, you're a wealth of knowledge. Your reputation in the insurance business that you've had over the years. I think you were the first person to qualify for the $1 Million Roundtable with Life Alabama.
I think so.
Your second person sitting right beside you.
I might not have been, maybe Morris Longshore.
I think Morris might have. Some might have been 3, but I know that I'm one that's qualified because we were in Chicago for a meeting. But it's just been a wonderful treat to have you on the show. Rick,
well,
close us up, Rick.
One thing I'd want to ask you, and if you want to elaborate a little bit, if someone is out there, why do business with Life Alabama?
Well, I think the reason, there's 2 reasons. Number one is we are an insurance company. We're not a financial institution. And most of all of our people that work here in the home office that deal with the field force have been agents themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They know what it's like to have the door slammed in their face and say, I don't want any of that damn insurance.
Yep.
So we're not CPAs or lawyers or whatever. We're insurance salesmen. And number 2, we're still a family organization, and we feel like that the people that are working with us in the field are part of the family. And after they've been with us for a while, they get to where they feel the same way.
Absolutely, sir. Yep. That's exactly what I tell agents when I'm out talking to them about like us. It's a family organization and an agent-friendly company.
Well, there are very few
left
life insurance companies like us left. Most all of them are owned by giant corporations, and all they're worried about is the bottom line. They don't care about anything about the policyholders or the agents.
That's right.
And, you know, when I came into the business, there were 2,600 life insurance companies in the United States. Now there's about 1,200.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they've been bought large now.
Merged or went out of business.
Yep.
Or went out of business.
And that's been my experiences. I'd been in the business for 10 years before I came here, worked for the big companies.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the biggest company, but we're agent friendly. And the fact that the company was started by an agent is really impressive to me. And then I met you. Of course, the Colonel was passed, but I met you, and you understand an agent because you've been one.
Right.
And that's always been impressive, and you do become a part of the family. And we do appreciate you having you today, Ray, and you taking your time. And
John, thank you, sir. We appreciate you being here. And all right, be sure and go to our website, groupagenttraining.com. Go to our Facebook page. Go to YouTube. Like our podcast so that you'll be able to see the other ones. We'll have other guests on here, probably not as good as Ray Renfro, but we'll have other guests, other topics that we're talking about. I think that this is very important to hear other folks that are in the same business you are and help educate you and get you motivated. But Rick and I, it's a pleasure to have a guest that you're our second guest we've had. We're just thankful to have you here, and
Thank you, John.
we're appreciate it so much. And everybody, we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.